Oh, yeah. And there you have it.
The crowd rise to their feet here in the Rolex Stadium. It has been done. Since 2008, we have not been able to deliver a US winner of this prestigious North American event.
As I said, the quality of the gates goes into every score that you give. Look like a good halt from back here.
So, of course, Tamie, who was on that silver medal winning team at Bertoni last year, we missed seeing this pair here 12 months ago, but in fact they had other business to do, and that was to go to the Badminton Horse Trials in Great Britain, presented by Mars Equestrian, and they finished top 10 there last May. German bred by Loredano, and there's very little eventing in this horse's bloodlines, but he has taken to it like a duck to water. But he's actually got a full sibling competing at Prix Saint-Georges Pure Dressage.
Let's see how light and elastic he is, and he's off the ground. He has a lot of what we call cadence, which is like air time. Looks more like a dressage horse.
To Tamie, as well as those 5-star records, being top 10 at Aachen with this horse. They had an incredible run of wins at the 4-star level of the sport. In like 2015, they won Rebecca Farm, Copper Meadows, Plantation Field, and then took the 4-star national championships at Fair Hill.
Another square halt, right at C. And exactly 5 steps back and quietly moves off. You don't want to see them halt after the rein back and then go forward. They should go immediately from the rein back instantly into the next step going forward, which is exactly what you did.
Which would translate to a 24-23 penalty score, which would go thundering into the lead, and there aren't a huge amount of horses in the field that on paper could overtake that.
We can hold this. Into the change. Little tension, but everything was done correctly. He's got good reach in those half passes. She definitely went for it there. Good job collecting them. And then a lovely change. Seems like such a willing horse. It'd be fun to ride.
Yeah, I mean, every time you speak to Tamie about this horse, it's that partnership and how much, you know, enjoyment she gets from riding Mai Baum, and therefore that translates back into their ability to perform together.
We just have 2 changes left, and she's definitely out in front. Even if she blew the both changes, I think she'd still be out in front. Just a real pleasure to watch.
Those last 2 changes were averaging 7.5 across the board. So we should be getting a 24 or so penalty score here. Of course, there is that final mark with its doubling coefficient to come in as well for Tamie Smith and Mai Baum, but we may well have just seen our day one dressage leader, our overall dressage leader perhaps, here at the Land Rover Kentucky 3-day event presented by Mars Equestrian, and it is for the US, Tamie Smith and Mai Baum. So, Tamie Smith and Mai Baum leave the start box. The best we've seen so far, third after dressage on 24.2. The world number 8 ranked rider, Tamie, and part of that silver medal winning team at Protoni last year. He just jumped like he was on springs over that.
Well, he is on
Occidental
springs.
hill.
Have you seen this thing jump? And you see her, this is a little more of an experienced pair. She knows this horse. She stays on the inside line. Keeps him quite direct to that table. Holds him into the line. Well done there.
Tamie Smith, Mai Baum.
Behind us. Waste no time there.
Over the big open ditch brush. Such a famous feature fence there by the defender driving experience.
You see Lexus just, you know, his gallop step is huge now. Where you saw him in the beginning, he looked a little slow. She was giving him a little time to settle into it. Now he's covering a ton of ground. Just work to get that 3 done in the water. Oh, well done there. Yeah, he landed and he just paused for a second as he landed into the water.
Ward's Classic just been called forward to the start box. Another British rider who will be our next out on course. And here's Tamie. Now she really looks like she's moving.
Like she's
she
going.
comes to the chameau.
Really wants to make sure she gets him out in front of her leg.
As we get on through the day, especially with the rain coming in, is they're having to go for an incredibly accurate spot of this step up over here on the bank. And they're all going to bring water up onto that spot. Actually, she's not on the spot. She's a little bit further right.
Well, she was thinking about attacking a 5-star. That's what separates everybody. You can't just get around wasting your time and having a little school out there.
11 minutes 20 is the time for Sandra Alfart. So she is tearing inside the time. She stays on her dressage score of 30.9. She was 9th after dressage. How high will that end up carrying her?
See Tamie coming back up the hill, having just a little tap on the shoulder, saying, "Come on, boy, we got a little more work to do. You got to keep moving."
The Normandy Bank up at the top of this rise here, perhaps a little simpler than it has been in previous years. The step up onto the bank and then these 2 brushes, but actually the second brush is separately numbered, so you don't have to commit to quite a tight second on 22.6 penalties. Over at the Corgi, Tamie Smith and Mai Baum. And after this, when they turn back to that watercourse to jump the roll top, she needs to be at 10 minutes.
Tamie had to really work
She's
to
at
get
9
that
minutes
done
25
there.
now, we're told.
You know, Lexus just looking a little more tired and not quite as cued into what he was doing there. She had to wake him up and kind of pick him up over the fence. Now she looks like she's got his attention back again. Trying not to waste any extra seconds to these last chicaners.
Just 20 or so seconds left for Tamie Smith and Mai Baum. She would still be our leader even with a couple of time penalties, but of course we've still to see the 2 Brits. We've got to see Tom McEwen and Yasmin Ingham. 11 minutes 20. Smith, Mai Baum, but when we play the game of ifs and buts later on, you'd say, gosh, if Tom had maybe a couple more runs with the horse, maybe this wasn't their first 5-star together, could he have gone faster than 5.2 time penalties yesterday? We shall have to, or we will really never know. But Mai Baum and Tamie, year's Worlds, after top 10 at last spring's badminton horse trials. They're still on their dressage score of 24.2, up from 3rd to overnight lead.
What's happened? All those flagpoles are flapping. Great shot into this outside line in 5 strides. Her rhythm looks
great. The time that she's traveling looks like it's okay for the moment.
See the crowd's reaction to anything they can hear. Just Mai Baum leaving any sort of toe on a rail. There's no chance, I think, of either the front or the back rail of the Mars going, but they heard it.
Well ridden there. Two more. Very tight line to the, around that, to the left. Penultimate.
Time looks absolutely fine. One more to go.
Oh yeah.
And there you have it.
The crowd rise to their feet here in the Rolex Stadium. It has been done. The Rolex Hex, as we used to call it. Since 2008, we have not been able to deliver a US winner of this prestigious North American event. Since 2011, in a sport where gender equality is absolutely to the forefront, the only Olympic sport where men and women compete on an equal basis, we haven't been able to have a lady winner since Mary King. But now, both of those periods have ended. Tamie Smith of California and Mai Baum are the US winners of the Land Rover Kentucky three-day event presented by Mars Equestrian.
American flags going everywhere. The kissing cry is absolutely over the moon. Take another lap.
What a way to win it as well, to finish on her dressage score, to win a 5-star on your dressage score, to finish a 5-star on your dressage score is a great achievement. And so often then when you're just riding and trying to protect your lead, you might have a second or two in the show jumping on the final day and just mar that overall scoreline. It doesn't matter when you end up the winner, but now absolute perfection from beginning to end from Tamie Smith, with Alexandra and Eleanor Heard and Eric Markel's Mai Baum. They are your champions of the 5-star for 2023.
What an immaculate ride.
Tammie's it's in two minds. She both absolutely understands what she wants and she's done, and she puts her hands to the side of the head because she can't believe what she's done.